Poverty is the worst form of violence. Overcoming poverty is not a gesture of charity. It is the protection of a fundamental human right, the right to dignity and a decent life. There are people in the world so hungry that God cannot appear to them except in the form of bread. The greatest of evils and the worst of crimes is poverty. Poverty is the worst form of loneliness. We think sometimes that poverty is only being hungry, naked, and homeless. The poverty of being unwanted, unloved, and uncared for is the greatest poverty. The measure of a society is found in how they treat their weakest and most helpless citizens. Where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, neither persons nor property will be safe. Poverty is like punishment for a crime you didn't commit. Poverty is not just a lack of money. It is not having the capability to realize one's full potential as a human being. Poverty entails fear and stress and sometimes depression. It means 1,000 petty humiliations and hardships. Poverty is the worst form of isolation. Poverty is not natural. It is man-made, and it can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. Poverty is no disgrace to a man, but it is confoundedly inconvenient. Loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is the most terrible poverty. Poverty is a very complicated issue, but feeding a child isn't. The poverty of our century is unlike that of any other. It is not, as poverty was before, the result of natural scarcity, but of a set of priorities imposed upon the rest of the world by the rich. A rich man is nothing but a poor man with money. Wealth is not his that has it, but his that enjoys it. The most terrible poverty is loneliness and the feeling of being unloved. As long as poverty, injustice, and gross inequality persist in our world, none of us can truly rest. Poverty is the only burden that is not lightened by sharing with others. Poverty is a form of violence. The poor man is not he who is without a cent, but he who is without a dream. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. Poverty is a symptom. The root cause is inequality. The more affluent areas tend to be more subject to the epidemic of overwork, whereas the poor areas are subject to the epidemic of unemployment. Poverty is the scarcity, or the lack of a certain variant amount of material possessions or money. We cannot fight against poverty while squandering military budgets. Poverty is the result of the selfishness of the rich.